Time now for the Pig and the Hen. Pig and the Hen Show. Pig and the Hen Show.
Yeah, you had a good week then, Hen? Have you had a good week watching the football along? I'm sure you've got a lot to say about what
It hasn't been
happened.
a great week. The trouble is, I'm one of them football fans that as soon as your team has a bit of a travesty, you kind of just switch off from it, So, I mean, people are probably tuning into the Pig and the Hen show this week thinking, yeah, the Hen's informed. He knows what's going on with the football. Well, you're disillusioned if that's the case. But you might be thinking, I'm gonna inform myself on what's going on in the football world. Well, you know what? You're not going to do that because Tottenham lose to Newcastle was a shocking result. And I kind of just like, I can't help but just sort of switch off from it. And I shouldn't do that. Obviously, we do the Pig of the Hen show. I'm supposed to be informed. I have kind of tried to catch up today, find out the latest kind of Premier League goings on. But I am a very emotional fan.
So what exactly happened there, Hen? Because I haven't seen much of the game, but I do understand that, Dummett had Harry Kane in his back pocket and Spurs were just a little bit shy. And it's kind of worrying, isn't it? I mean, it's worrying for United to lose to Palace, don't get me wrong, but United are not in the same place as Spurs at the moment. It's even more worrying that Spurs, a seasoned team with all these signings that they made, are dropping 3 points to Newcastle United. I mean, I find what went wrong in that game for Spurs? Did you watch it or what?
As a United channel, we're already talking about the Tottenham loss first because it makes you feel better.
Definitely, yeah. Let's lead with that.
Makes you guys feel better.
We'll lead with the Spurs loss, and then we'll just sort of briefly touch over the Crystal Palace game.
If Wolves is a bogey team for Manchester United, I'd say Newcastle seems to be Tottenham Hotspur's bogey team over the last few seasons. We tend to just draw up funny results. I mean, I'm sure you remember where we got battered by them a season or two ago. And it's one of those. I mean, this happens from time to time. This happens, and it hasn't happened for a while. I thought we were over this. We were over this kind of like we come up against a team that's like back to the wall jobby, park the bus, etc., etc. I thought we were at the stage where we could break teams like that down. They get the break. We let in a cheap goal. It's a cheap goal. Defending should have been better, but those goals happen. Those goals happen to the best of teams. Yeah, I'm not gonna stand here and slate what happened. That happens, okay. But the fact is, we couldn't break them down afterwards, and this is a combination of the fact that you've actually got a very, very experienced manager behind the helm of Newcastle United right now. That's been there, done that. With these low-level teams, we're going to have a more of a chat about this. You're laughing, mate, but we need to have a proper chat about
Steve
some
Bruce
of these managers.
experience. Oh yeah.
Listen. Right, the way that I look at these managers and the way I see their teams set up and the way they go about the game managerially is something to be respected. And you could laugh again, mate. But you shouldn't be because you got done as well. You got done by a similar manager in many respects in Roy Hodgson.
Fair one.
Bit different to Steve Bruce, but has pedigree. Okay, has pedigree. Unfortunately, Pochettino. All you need to do is listen to Poch. Poch is a good manager, and he said we just didn't have the desire. We did not have the desire to break down Newcastle and beat them, and that's exactly what happened. They get a bit of a break. They get a lucky goal. Then it's back to the wall jobby. They're solid, very, very solid, and it just didn't work out for us. We just couldn't do it because we didn't want it enough. And that's a horrible thing to admit, but that's the truth of it, and we need to do better. We are better than that. It wasn't because Newcastle are a better team than Tottenham Hotspur. We just didn't want it enough. Simple as that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's hugely worrying, isn't it? That the desire of Spurs' team has been brought into question already this season. The same could be said for United, of course. We've just come off the back of a quite frankly ridiculous result against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. That was actually the first time Crystal Palace have beaten United anywhere in the Premier League era, which goes to show you just how shit Manchester United must have been in that game. Because, yeah, sure, Palace, they're in a good moment at the moment. They're one of the best Palace sides there's been, I suppose. But still, it's not like a team filled with truly quality players. They've got a few really standout players, don't don't get me wrong, Wilfried Zaha is a player that I'd take back at United. I really would. But other than that, it's like they don't have a better team than United. So something's gone wrong elsewhere. Like similar to the Spurs game, I suppose. The lack of
they got
desire.
Some good players. You look at Van Aanholt.
Yeah, he's okay.
You not have Van Aanholt.
He's all right.
Back, mate. He's
a pretty decent player, yeah. But I mean, they don't have any truly world class, like great players. They're a good team. Hodgson's obviously done well with them. Like you say, it is a similar situation really, because Steve Bruce and Roy Hodgson, they've both got vast experience within football management. A lot of it, maybe not to the level of the likes of Pochettino, or even very positive in the sense that Steve Bruce has been sacked however many times, so's Roy Hodgson. Just look at that England team under Roy. But the experience is there to even get that job in the first place. So I hear what you're saying. I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got done by Roy Hodgson at the weekend, which I never thought I would say. We struggled to break them down. We couldn't break them down. They organised and defended and set up pretty well. But it really was United's mistakes that cost us in that game, because, of course, the Lindelof error, if you didn't see it, Lindelof just made an absolute schoolboy error with the clearance that led to the first goal. And the second goal, Pogba's given it away, and David De Gea's made a mistake at the near post to let one in. So it's just like errors is what cost us that game. And, of course, Marcus Rashford missed the penalty.
I love the way, though. I love the way that you're trying your best to draw comparisons, because you love to kind of bracket United in the same respect as Tottenham Hotspur, that we both lost in similar ways. Solskjaer managers. That is not the agenda that I was trying to bring up today, mate. There's
no way we're in the same bracket, mate. We've actually won the Premier League.
Of what I was trying to say.
Do you know what I mean? We can't be in the same bracket.
No. I'm talking in the context of this season, in terms of the players that we've got now and the managers that we've got right now.
I was just saying it was a similar couple of results.
Completely different games.
It was a similar couple of results.
We let in a cheap goal.
Couldn't break down the opposition.
We couldn't break Newcastle
there you
down.
go, yeah.
We could break Newcastle down. You against Crystal Palace was a completely different game. It was a lot. It was a lot more open. It was a lot more.
Because you were on my FTD stream, so you only went by what I was actually saying. So okay, you may have watched it back since.
I watched the highlights.
Okay, the highlights, but that doesn't show you the fact that we couldn't break them down in the final third. Like it was a similar thing. Of course,
I didn't say that you couldn't.
Yeah, you said it was a different situation. I was just simply saying that it's a similar style that we went about it, and a similar style that we failed, in the sense that we couldn't break the opposition down.
But
we weren't good in the
what I'm
final
trying
third,
to say
and
is,
we made
I think
errors.
that you're going to come across this. You're going to come across this again and again this season. Whereas for me, Tottenham's result against Newcastle was a blip. You're not going to see that very often from Spurs. You might see it once or at most twice more this season. United, you look at it every 1 in 3 games that you're going to have this kind of.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say that, Henry, but it's a new season. Let's see how Spurs do. I mean, they had a good season last year. They could struggle. They could struggle. Let's be honest. I mean, I know it's only one game. I agree with you. One game doesn't really mean anything. I'm sure Pochettino would have put all those players on blast after that one, and just talked about the desire with them, and maybe.
Well, Poch made mistakes. Yeah. He's not immune to mistakes.
Yeah, but like you say, the players are the problem with the desire in that game, or at least Pochettino's said that. He said, right? That's what he said, that the players didn't want it enough. Is that what he said?
That's right.
Right. So
that is what he said. He said this players didn't want it enough. But he starts with Son Heung-min. Basically my favourite player. It's not like I've got a problem that Pochettino wants to start him, but actually he shouldn't have started. Obviously he's been on suspension, so he's missed the last few games, and just to start him straight away. Do you know what? Actually, let's not. We won our first game of the season. We drew with City away. Let's actually not let Son start straight away. Let him come on from the bench all day long. Don't just put a player straight in when they haven't been playing.
Fair one, but I mean, he is a top player, though, isn't he?
More impact.
He's a top player, though. I mean,
he is a top player, but I wouldn't have started him. So I disagree with
Poch there, yeah.
Yeah, it's a niggly thing there, but I would disagree with that starting 11 there.
No, I can't blame you, mate. I mean, I thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made some big errors in the starting 11 with the game against Crystal Palace, like starting Lingard. I don't know if you saw Lingard's last couple of performances, but he's been absolutely bang average dog turd shite. So for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to select him in there, even after a couple of poor games, it really makes me question Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's mentality with his team. Is he just going to pick players based on the reputation or based on what he thinks is the best team? I'd like him to actually pick it based on who's doing well, who's looking good in games, who's coming in and taking opportunities, And Jesse Lingard is not one of those players. And what annoys me the most is that, fair enough if we didn't have anybody sort of waiting in the wings, but in pre-season he was giving games to Gomez, he was giving games to Chong, these young lads that are just absolutely quality and have great talent, but they're young. They're only going to get better with experience. And he's not playing them. He's choosing people like Jesse Lingard out there, even though he's been poor for a while, and expecting to get some sort of a different result from him, where he didn't get a different result. He was just absolutely gashtastically poor again. So in terms of selection, I think that Ole Gunnar's also made some mistakes. So there's more parallels that would draw in there. Selection mistakes, desire mistakes, substitution mistakes possibly. I mean, the lack of in-game management from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was once again evident. And I don't like to criticise Ole Gunnar. Trust me, I love the guy. I want him to do well. But the fact is, he's not managing these games very well in-game. He's waiting too long to make subs. He's not seeing where the problems are, which I can see. Jesse Lingard, rip him off the pitch. No, he's persevering, he's sticking with them, and it's not working for us. And unfortunately, he is showing his managerial inexperience here when he comes up against somebody like Roy Hodgson, who has got lots of experience on his side. He was found wanted, mate. So I can't gloss over the last couple of results. United have been shite. The Wolves game I can sort of let go, because Wolves are a good team at the moment, and we were away, and they are our bogey team. But Crystal Palace, man, they've never beaten us in the Premier League era. That's a game we should be smashing every single week. So I don't care if we haven't signed the midfielder. We still got a better squad than Crystal Palace. So something went seriously wrong there. And it does stem, unfortunately, I think, from the initial team selection. He got it wrong. We don't need a presser like Jesse Lingard on the pitch. We need a creator who can unlock that defence. And that's what we didn't get. So, yeah, I mean, I just think it's filth at the moment. It's a filth start to the season for both of us, really. Look, I know you did well against City, getting that lucky point. But you have lost against Newcastle. It's a bad start, whichever way you look at it, for both of our teams, and I'm not happy about it, mate. I'm really not happy about it.
It's not a great start, but I mean, for me, it's basically one game which is a shit game, and you know that you always get that. As long as you only have that horrible feeling once every fucking quarter or third of the year, then I can take that. Yeah. I can take that. If you're talking about, you could count them on one hand, where during the whole season where it's like, yeah, that was a shocking performance, then you can still have a great season. So, Tottenham Hotspur right now, notched off one. So we got 4 left. Even that's being generous. Really, 2 or 3 if you want to, 2 if you want to be right up there. But in terms of like a top 4 finisher, is still having a decent season. That I guess they've got one hand's worth of fingers, and a thumb.
It's time now for the Pig and the Hen. Pig and the Hen Show. Pig and the Hen Show.